Alright, let's start up some of the main story stuff. And to think, I was ecstatic to finally participate in the famous Celtic Grain Market. What did I ever do to deserve this? Excuse me. You. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you had to see me acting like that. I hope you can forgive me for my inappropriate behavior. He seems really down. It's quite understandable. He's a merchant in a busy market, unable to do business. So what brings you here? Did you need something from me? Well, actually, Rain explained that he and his classmates were investigating the truth behind what happened the previous night. You're investigating? That's right, and we'd really appreciate it if you could answer a few questions for us. You may be able to help us find the true culprit. I suppose it can't hurt. It's better than doing nothing, at least. You don't have to sound so pessimistic. Well, can you blame me? You're students at a military academy. You're not exactly ace detectives. That is true, but we're still determined to find out who did this. We may even be able to recover your goods. Cooperating with us could prove quite fruitful. Okay, fine. I never said I wouldn't help you, did I? I'm not sure what I'm supposed to say though. It's not like I saw anything worth mentioning. You didn't? Yeah, as soon as I made sure my stall was ready to open the next morning, I left everything set up and went home. The other merchants around here can vouch for that. I guess I shouldn't have left my stall unattended though. By the time I got in, it was too late. The deed had been done. By the time I got in, it was too late. So by morning, the stall had already been destroyed and your goods stolen? Come to think of it, what goods were stolen exactly? Oh, I have a sample with me actually. What is that? Looks like a collar. An accessory? Is this a brand that's popular in the capital? Been a real hit lately, yeah? I was hoping to bring that fad here by selling them at the market. But this is the only one I have left now. I dread to think just how much money I lost in one single night. A damn coward sabotaging my business. It's much too early to be jumping to conclusions. Do you have any evidence that proves his culpability? No, but he's clearly the prime suspect. He was so against the idea of taking turns sharing this spot with me, he decided to destroy my stall altogether. I just know it. Yeah, but his shit is also destroyed. I'm going to get him to give my goods back no matter what it takes. Please try to stay calm. You do know that if you cause any more trouble, the provincial army really will arrest you, right? Yeah, I know it. That is a matter of justice. They can't just act like nothing ever happened. It's wrong on general principle. I'm begging you, please get my goods back, whatever it takes. Well, I can't promise success, but I swear to you, we'll do everything that we can. That much I can promise you. I think that's everything this merchant knows. Let's try questioning the other one. I've lost my stall, I've lost my goods. What did I ever do to deserve this? I can't turn tail and run after this though. I'd lose my pride as a merchant. it's all up to you now. Please do what you can to get my stuff back. And try to make sure whoever did this pays for it too. I mean, we can't really promise you anything. Well, what the hell am I supposed to do now? Excuse me, I'm sorry to bother you, but could we have a moment of your time? You're those kids from that military academy, right? Huh. What do you want from me? I've got nothing to sell you, obviously. Even if I did have something to sell, I've got no place to sell it, basically ruined. And to top it all off, the provincial army and that other damn merchant are acting like I'm the one who did it. He's not taking this very well, is he? Hard to blame him, but we need to see if he knows anything that might help us. Well, you see, Green explained that he and his classmates were investigating the truth behind what happened the previous night. You're investigating this mess, huh? Okay. So would you consider cooperating with us? Sure, why not? I'm not getting my hopes up, as I'm sure you can understand, but hell, I've got nothing left to lose. Not exactly a vote of confidence. Hey, he's willing to cooperate. I say we cut him some slack and hear him out. So about last night, at the time the incident actually happened. Last night, huh? I don't know how much help I can be if that's what you're asking about here. See, I left the market right after arguing with the merchant yesterday, and I didn't come back till this morning. I stayed over at a friend's place. Another merchant just got pissed drunk and ranted at him all night. Are you certain of this? Positive. Ask my friend if you don't believe me. He'll back me up. I wandered over here with an awful hangover this morning, and what I found gave me a hell of a start. My whole stall in shambles. And as if that weren't bad enough, all the processed foods I was going to sell were just gone, without a trace. So the goods that were stolen were all processed foods? That's right. Nuts, cheese, bacon, all foods that have a long shelf life, made with local ingredients. Seeing all my stuff gone really sobered me up. It was like I hadn't been drinking at all. And that's when I went over to that fool's stall to make him pay for it. Why did you go straight to him? Because he was the one who did it, of course. He smashed my stall so he could have the spot all to himself. But that doesn't make any sense. If Heinz did it, then why was his stall destroyed too? He must have done that to himself. He probably figured if he destroyed his own stall, no one would believe he could be responsible. Marco, this shit is ignorant. Do you realize what you're saying then? We're all here to make a profit. It makes no sense. I don't know. That seems pretty unlikely. It's a bit excessive. While I understand your frustration, baseless accusations do no one any favors and only cloud the true issue. It's so frustrating. I've lost so much money because of this. I might have to shut up shop for good. That is bad. If I could at least get my goods back, maybe I could salvage enough to stay afloat, but what are the odds of that? None of the other merchants saw anybody do anything, and the provincial army sure ain't about to help. I'm finished, pure and simple. All this hard work I put into getting this far, and this is the dream, how the dream ends for me? Well, I'll be honest, I'm not sure how much we'll actually be able to help or be able to do for you. We'll do everything in our power to help you find some form of closure. So cheer up, okay? I do appreciate that, but again, I ain't about to get my hopes up. Good luck though. That's all the two victims of this crime have to say, it seems. What does everybody think? I already know what I think. I can't be sure, but I really don't think either of them is responsible. Both merchants certainly have adequate motive to damage the other's stall, but the chance of both committing the same crime on the same night without crossing paths is virtually nil. It's not impossible that they were just out to steal each other's merchandise, but I don't believe that's what happened. Both of them have alibis confirming that they were somewhere else when the crime took place. I'm inclined to agree. I just can't see either of these merchants being responsible for what happened. So we're going to have to look elsewhere to find viable suspects. Where though? I mean, who could it possibly have been? Oh, I know. It's the provincial army. Let's be real here. It's impossible to say right now. We don't have any solid leads. We know who the culprit wasn't, but how are we supposed to start narrowing down who it was? I'm telling you, it's the provincial army. And you could throw in a reason right now. I mean, I ain't gonna say a reason right now. But we do know that the provincial army has been turning a blind eye to damn near everything that goes on here. They've been saying it. It's been going on for a while. They said they don't give a shit about anything that's happening. Until Otto deals with that, that tax increase, they aren't giving a shit about the grand market. But what happened the other day? They decided to show up during, the situation between these two guys, Marco and Heinz, about their stalls being destroyed. Why show up now of all times? The market itself seems unlikely to produce any further clues, so we should focus our attention elsewhere. Actually, there is one thing that's been bugging me. There's one group of people involved in this whole situation whose actions don't seem to make any sense, and it's the provincial army. Maybe if we can work out a reasoning behind their strange behavior, we can come one step closer to finding our culprit. What do you mean? I'm talking about which group's actions don't seem to make any sense here. The market manager and his wife, the merchants in the market, the provincial army. The provincial army. They haven't done a thing to try and solve this crime, despite it happening right under their noses. And that begs the question, why not? The market manager said they're refusing to fulfill their role due to the tax issue, which means the provincial army should refuse to intervene in quarrels within the market as well. And yet they didn't the other day, right? If that's the case, then why did they come and intervene this morning? Now that you mention it, that really doesn't make any sense. Their methods were atrocious, but the fact is, they brought that dispute to an end almost instantly. They did get involved. Yeah, one minute they're refusing to do anything, then the next they're taking a stand. It's definitely suspicious. My point exactly. There's definitely something unnatural about the way they're conducting themselves. And since we have no other leads, what do you say we go to the army's guardhouse and take a look around? I feel like this probably ain't gonna go too well. We might be able to learn something from them that could aid us in our investigation. It may be worth an attempt. The guardhouse isn't too far from here either. Let's head on over and see what we can find out. AP increased by 1. Nice. That was a real easy question though. Guardhouses. Where is it? Is this way? And here it is. Weren't you those students from that military academy, was it? What are you doing here? We're terribly sorry to trouble you, but we were hoping you might be able to help us with something. If we ask you a few questions about the incident that occurred at the Grand Market this morning. What? What does that have to do with you? We're visiting this town on a field study as students of th[LLove's military academy. And we would very much appreciate the chance to see how experienced soldiers such as yourself handle difficult everyday situations. This seems a perfect opportunity for a ţὼＬove case study. It could prove most invaluable to our education, if you'd permit it. Yo, damn, Laura got a, yeah, she has silver tongue. Alright, stay here. I'll see what I can do. It looks like we might be able to hear what they have to say for themselves after all. Nicely done, Laura. In times like these, we need to make good use of our positions. No one can fault the student for wanting to learn after all. But now comes the hard part. This makes me nervous. Well, let's just wait and see what we can get out of them. Remember, it's not always what they say that matters, but how they say it. And even more importantly, what they don't say. Right. I hope you appreciate us taking out of our busy schedules for this. So what do you want? And make it quick, I'm a busy man, you know. He's not even trying to keep up appearances. Unbelievable. I'll be brief then. We came to discuss the incident at the market this morning. Would we be correct in assuming that the provincial army will be conducting no further investigation? Is that all you came here to ask? Is that all? Should the armed forces charged with maintaining the peace in this region not be taking this matter more seriously? Laura, I'm not sure. You got a big mouth. You got a big mouth for someone your age. And it seems you have a lot to learn about how military units actually work. What do you mean? Let me ask you this. What should the #1 priority of the provincial army be in order to maintain the status quo? I'll tell you, the #1 priority should be to enforce the will of their region's ruling lord. ţὼLove. As members of the provincial army, the will of the nobility is absolute. We're just following our orders, protecting what we have a duty to protect. I assume you're referring to the local petition against the sales tax increase? So you're saying as long as the petition isn't withdrawn, the Grand Market isn't something you have a duty to protect? Interpret my words however you want. We're soldiers, we follow our orders, that's how the military works. And we don't need some fresh military academy inductees telling us how to do our jobs. This is nuts. Does he even have a tiny shred of shame? I was hoping we'd be able to get something out of him, but it sure doesn't seem too likely anymore. So, is that it then? I hope this has been enlightening. Now if you'll excuse me, I have a job to do. Elliot, you got something to say?
Wait. Would you mind answering just one more question?
Elliot.
Yeah, fine, ask it. Well, do you have any idea what might have happened to the goods Marco was handling? You know, the accessory merchant. All he had left was that one sample.
Yo, this is a bait question. Elliot is a... Yo, Elliot trying to bait. He's trying to bait something out of him. Because depending on his reply here, he might be caught in Elliot's web. Elliot sought out the bait.
What are you talking about? That merchant from the capital, Hines, was the one who was planning on selling accessories.
Oh. You fucked up, sir. You fucked up, sir. Hate to break it to you. Hate to break it to you. You shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't have said that. You shouldn't have ran your mouth. You see what happens when you run your mouth? Let this be a lesson.
What? What did you just say?
He doesn't even realize what he just said.
What are y'all looking at me like that for? How do you know that? I was under the impression you hadn't investigated the matter at all. How peculiar. We only discovered what each of the merchants was intending to sell a short while ago ourselves.
Sir, we have our own ways of finding these things out. You do well not to underestimate us. Now, we wasted enough time answering your questions. We're leaving. How convenient. You got caught. Good shit, Elliot.
Do you think?
The fact that they know what each of the merchants was selling means they did investigate the matter after all. But the burglary happened last night and it was only first discovered this morning. Realistically, I don't think there was any opportunity during that time for them to do any digging, not without running into us. Yeah, they would have had to. You would have seen them, obviously. The question is, though, they have all this information or they know of this stuff. They're clearly involved, but they could not be the one that destroyed the stall. But it could be another party involved, or they could have gotten someone to do it. It's hard to say. But regardless of whatever the case is, they're definitely involved.
Agreed. I suspect they knew what each merchant was planning to sell well in advance of yesterday's incident. Though that would be an easy information for them to learn, since Duke Alberea must have issued permits for both stalls. That's true, and the army would have no trouble gaining access to transaction records for something like that. But why would they bother? Maybe they needed to know so they could prepare.
You speaking facts. This is all a big setup. They've been scheming from the start. I mean, the two guys having the same permits and all this shit, it's been set up. Shout out to Elliot.
Prepare for what? I get the impression that the incident at the market has been carefully planned out for a while now. I don't think those two merchants being given permits for the same spot was a coincidence either. It was probably done to get them to start fighting so they could get robbed while there was tension between them. Basically to create a situation that couldn't be brought under control without the army's help.
So the two merchants were being used all along? That seems to fit perfectly with what happened this morning.
Meanwhile, the provincial army has shown no interest in actively working toward a solution, unless the market manager chooses to withdraw his petition. So they waited for things to get out of hand and then showed up to force both parties into an uncomfortable truce. Eventually, the merchants would get worn down enough that they'd feel like they have no choice but to withdraw the petition. This is turning out to be an even shadier situation than I thought.
Yeah, but thanks to Elliot, I do believe we've finally uncovered the truth of the matter.
That was indeed some very quick thinking you displayed, Elliot. You'd make a fine military strategist.
I just got lucky, that's all. I mean, that makes sense, what she just said, because he has to be related to Lieutenant or General Craig that they mentioned in the very beginning of the game. So what we know is the provincial army is somehow involved with the actual perpetrators of this crime. The only way to solve it once and for all, though, seems to be, well, to find and catch them. But if this was carried out by members of the provincial army, that's not going to be an easy task.
No, I don't think anyone from the army was directly involved. The soldiers here are far too proud to dirty their hands with such escapades. I tend to agree. Really, whoever the culprits are, I doubt they're still here in ţÄLLLic. There just aren't many viable places to hide such a huge volume of goods without them being found.
That's true. Where would you hide this stuff? Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe they escaped by train? No, that can't be. Boarding a train with that much merchandise would raise suspicion for sure. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. I'm trying to think, where could they? We haven't really tried. Lunaria, right? I'm trying to think where we haven't been. That area, we haven't been able to go to that area. That's the only thing I can think of because we haven't been there. Like, there's no other place around here that I don't know, I can't imagine it. It has to be in the location we've never been to yet. Right? Because, what was it? It was like Lunaria Park.
It's been less than a day since the burglary happened, so they can't have gotten far.
Maybe we should ask around on the main roads and see if anyone saw anything out of the ordinary. Someone suspicious may have been spotted leaving or even entering the town.
That sounds like a wise course of action. Come, let's resume our search. We mustn't let this cowardly thief run free. I wouldn't dream of it. Did I notice anyone suspicious? I don't think so. The only people who came to mind are you guys, to be honest. You all kind of stand out. There's so many people here for the grand market though, so it's hard to say.
Yeah, he's seeing the same thing. She's also seeing the same thing. Okay. Let's see here.
Someone suspicious looking. Sorry man, can't help you. I've been hanging out by the station all day thanks to work, so I haven't seen anyone. You might want to ask Jake and his crew though. They're always playing by the highway, so they know more about it than me.
Okay. Good looking out, kid. Oh. So Mina.
Lulu, are you okay? Look what that nasty man did to her.
Is something the matter?
I was just chasing after Lulu near the west exit of the town, and there was this weird man asleep alongside the street.
The drunk guy?
A weird man? The drunkard we saw earlier, perhaps? Probably. That nasty smell coming off of him nearly made Lulu faint. That's terrible. It really was. I don't know who he is, but I'll have to keep an eye on Lulu to make sure she keeps her distance from him.
So he's not from this town then?
I'm not sure. I only started seeing him around a few days ago. I'd never seen him before that. Really now? That sounds like a lead if I ever heard one. If he's drinking in the middle of the day and isn't Instructor Sarah, then we know he's not a merchant at the very least.
Yeah, I think we should go talk to him. Even though I was just talking to that guy a second ago. Let's have a look near the west exit and see if we can track him down. A drink. Bring me another drink.
You, this guy reeks. How much has he put down? It's only midday and he's already completely blitzed.
I don't think this is the man we're looking for. I think he'd have trouble pulling off a robbery. Sir, are you alright? We can help you back home if you like. Shut up. Leave me alone. I was just a giver for nothing. He just lost his job. I connected to Nature Park my whole life. The Lunaria Nature Park. That's the full name. That's where they are.
Nature Park?
You kids ain't heard? Nature Park. It's never preached there. I used to be a park ranger for the hour.
And then you lost your job?
Yeah, out of nowhere too. I gave my life to that job, and he just came and took it all from me. A damn official just showed up out of nowhere and told me I was shacked. Yeah, you can't just take a man's livelihood off of him like that. It's not fair. That job was my life. My life. Yes, we can see that. Something about this doesn't sound right.
I agree. It hardly seems fair to take a man's job away from him without good reason.
You're right. It's just glad somebody understand how I feel. There's no way a bunch of kids like that gotta do a better job than me. Bunch of kids?
Kids?
Yeah, I was drinking here last night too, you see. A bunch of kids in their ranger uniforms went out walking out through the west exit. The weird thing was they was carrying a bunch of wood boxes too in the middle of the night. Merchandise. The kids these days, I tell you.
You don't think they could have been a nature park? I wouldn't even have considered it. But a park would no doubt provide a large area enough. It fits perfectly. Yeah, they'd have no trouble stashing away merchandise there undetected. Lock the entrance, leave a couple of lookouts, and no one would suspect a thing for a very long time. And if a provincial official was the one to tell them he was fired, that's practically a smoking gun.
Yeah, I say something useful or something? I don't know what I said, but if I helped you out, why not buy me a drink?
I would suggest you start trying to sober yourself up instead. There's a good chance we may be able to recover both your park and your job.
Right?
We know our next stop. As soon as we're fully prepared, let's head out to the Lunaria Nature Park.
Right. Those damn youngsters, they don't know what real work is. The ruler of the forest here gobble right up.
The ruler of the forest?
It rules deep in the forest. It's real scary. I've always been careful not to anger. You only know if you're a professional like me.
It sounds like quite the ferocious monster. Oh, Adios, please don't let us come across it.